there's a common belief that most people share that the Nazis were defeated in World War II and that they're done, that they went away. And we have a few neo-Nazi groups around, like the Azov Battalion in Ukraine, which is true. The fact of the matter is, the Nazis weren't really defeated. They were given jobs in the States. They joined the Americans, and a very unholy alliance was born. Now, before that happened, Adolf Hitler became obsessed with this race of beings that he referred to as the Aryans. And he got this from Vedic texts, okay, the ancient Vedas, which are the Hindu holy books. And they describe these Aryans as blonde-haired, blue-eyed, pure Aryans. Different than us. Totally different than us. And Hitler became completely obsessed with finding them. Now, through these ancient texts, he discovered that the most likely thing was that they're inside the earth, and that one could possibly access them in Antarctica. So he went there. And the truth of the matter is, he found them. He literally found them. There was something called Foo Fighters that all of the pilots were seeing fighting World War II. The Germans thought they were someone else's, and everyone else thought they were the Germans, and no, the Foo Fighters were these Aryans inside the earth with very high-level technology, fallen angel technology, as a matter of fact. Some people refer to these beings as the Nordics. They're very tall, they're blonde-haired and blue-eyed, they're extremely good-looking, and they're extremely intelligent. Very high-level intelligence. And their kingdom is known as Shambhala. Shambhala, however it's said. I want to connect a few dots for you here. Who do the Muslims worship? They worship a deity known as Allah. Shambhala. One and the same. That's why it is called Shambhala. And there's said to be, I'm going to connect another dot for you here, or two more dots for you here too. I believe it's the Sikhs worship a deity known as Al-Qadir. And I want you to think of the terrorist group Al-Qaeda. Al-Qadir. This is how you can connect these dots. It's always in the language. The names given to things will always tell you what they actually are. Now these are likely, this I can't say for sure, but these are the beings that were in Atlantis. Atlantis was real. Okay, that's not just a legend, a myth. That's what they say everything is. No. People didn't just make things up. when they told these stories of the past, they were all real. They're talking about real stuff. So Atlantis fell. There was two places, Atlantis and Lemuria. And they were always warring with each other. And I think they destroyed each other completely. But the beings from Atlantis, who I believe are the fallen angels themselves, that's who these Aryans are. That's why they're taller. That's why they're all blonde-haired and blue-eyed, and why they're all gorgeous. They are literally angels. Fallen angels. The ones who rebelled against the Lord himself. And after Atlantis was destroyed, they sought refuge underneath, inside the earth, and built the kingdom of Shambhala. In Norse mythology, which is also talking about the same thing, pretty much everything that you hear from the ancient past, it's all referring to these same beings. These are the ones who are responsible for everything that's happened. And in my opinion, they still govern this world. From there, through our corrupt politicians, the club that you ain't in. Okay, so the Nazis found these guys, made contact with them, and deals were made. And to this day, people are rushing down to Antarctica to meet with them. That's where the entrance is, one of them. The Buddhists are protecting another one that's in the mountains of Tibet, up in the Himalayas. That's why the Chinese invaded Tibet. They want into that entrance that the Buddhists are guarding. So the Buddhists are well aware of them too. And the Hindus, and the Muslims, and the Sikhs, all religions except for Christianity, who actually worships the actual God. Everyone else is worshiping these guys down inside the earth. Shambhala, called Agartha as well. It actually has a few other names too, but that's the two most common names. Because these guys are fallen angels, they have very intense technology. This is where these saucers we're seeing are coming from. All those drones that have been, or people call them drones, they're not really drones. They're actually live beings. Those shape-shifting things that are up in the sky all the time and literally shape-shifting and stuff. Like doing things that are completely impossible according to our laws of physics, which are incorrect anyway. We haven't figured out the laws of physics at all. They have. They understand it, but we don't. That's where all these things we see in the sky are coming from. Now, some of them are government, black ops machines that have been either reverse engineered or the fallen ones taught us how to build them. I think that's the most likely. Because we have all these DUMBs, they're called, deep underground military bases. And it's said that the Nordics work directly with humans in those DUMBs, those military bases underground. So the Buddhists are very, very diligent in protecting that one entrance. And the one in Antarctica, well, there's a pilot who, he's doing something to raise awareness for something. I forget what it was, but he's actually flying around the world, and he was going to break some record. He's trying to raise awareness for some cause. I can't remember what it is. But he went to Antarctica. That's one of his stops. And he didn't get far. He got captured right away. You're not allowed near Antarctica. You are not allowed to go near it, literally. If you do, when you land a plane there, the military is going to swoop in, arrest you, and you ain't going nowhere. And that's what they did to this guy. Same reason. They don't want anybody going near that entrance to discover what's actually inside the earth. So the Nazis never lost. They made contact with the Aryans, or the Nordics, whatever you want to call them. They've been swapping technology. Well, not swapping. We don't have much to offer them, I'm sure. They have lots to offer us, technology-wise. Who knows what our part of the deal is? And these guys inside the earth, they want to be able to come up to the surface. And we're a nuisance to them. We're a big-time nuisance. And so they've taught the corrupt humans who are in the club that you ain't in how to completely control all human beings and change them through what's called the singularity, the merging of man and machine, how to make the humans so that you can control them completely, control their thoughts, control everything about them, and they will no longer have free will and sovereignty over themselves. They will be automatons that they basically run with a joystick. That's what these fallen angels, Aryans, Nordics, whatever you want to call them, that's what they want to do to us. I'm quite sure they're also the ones who designed the Pokey Pokes. See, everything down there is bioluminescent. People who have actually been down there, that's the first thing they notice, is everything is bioluminescent. We have a couple of creatures up here that are as well, like there's eels. They call them electric eels. They actually glow, like they turn their bioluminescence on, and they're like glow-in-the-dark eels. There's a few things that do that. Fireflies, there's another one. So the Pokey Poke, when it was in a big vat in, I think it was the Pfizer one of the people who was tasked with making sure it's safe and all this stuff, they wouldn't actually let her make sure it was safe. They instructed her that it was safe, and that was it. But the first thing she noticed was that it glowed, bioluminescent. She's like, why is it glowing? And no one would tell her. But she was on Dr. Drew talking about it. It glowed like one of those glow sticks you get. You know, you see kids in the field at night with them in campgrounds and stuff. Bioluminescence. That is because it's from down there. Everything down there at a certain depth is bioluminescent. That is one of the main things that anybody would notice if they went down there. And it's where the eugenics crew get all their instructions. They're the ones running things down there. Now, that'll sound crazy to a lot of you. Mr. Buzz thinks there's fallen angels inside the earth. I certainly do. I will say that straight out. No, I'm not ashamed to say that's my belief. It makes perfect sense. It's the only thing that makes perfect sense. And it's who the Muslims are actually worshiping. When I call that a false religion, I'm not saying that they're just worshiping something that doesn't exist. They're worshiping something that definitely does exist. The devil himself. Because we all know who's the devil. He's a fallen angel. That's who he originally was. The Lord's main fallen angel. The difference in the Muslim story and the Christian story, in the Christian story, the fallen angels rebelled and were cast down here. In the Muslim story, they were sent down here to manage the new creation of humans. And after they got down here, they have a character named Iblis, who is supposed to be the same as Lucifer. And he decided that he wanted to be in charge, and he rebelled afterwards. But they are worshiping the fallen ones. They're worshiping who's down inside the earth. So hopefully that connected a few dots for you. Some of you have clicked off long ago because you think I'm crazy saying all this, but many years of putting this together. The Nazis are definitely the key to it. They're the ones who made contact first. And now because of that, those in high places on this earth, the humans in high places, they've also met them, made contact. And that's who's in charge of it all. That's where all the evil comes from. Shambhala. Shambhala. And Al-Qadir. Al-Qaeda. Yeah. So, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Give me a like if you did. And I'll see you in the next one. Don't forget that Jesus Christ, and only Jesus Christ, is the way, the truth, and the life.